In a previous piece about Russia's recent chess moves in Syria, the case was made rather ominously concerning the dangers of World War III, which many think has already begun. Though, as an amendment to that essay, I thought I'd address an emerging alternative to the continued exploitation and eventual annihilation of our species. The operative word here being alternative. That's exactly what the Russia-China alliance represents, an alternative. For many years now, we've seen significant and increasing economic cooperation between the two Asian countries. We've witnessed trade deals negotiated based upon their own currencies, and we've seen them spearhead the development of the BRICS coalition. The materialization of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank and the construction of a new Silk Road trade route spells the expansion of Eurasian economic opportunity and growth, particularly that of the Chinese, to extend across the developing world, inevitably changing the dynamic of international relations from master and slave to partner and partner, which is the crucial element regarding alternatives, where Washington and London and their brethren insist on manipulating less powerful countries. Statements and policies coming out of Beijing and Moscow represent a more inclusive, multipolar world, one that reflects a community of nations rather than a bully on a playground. And what the Chinese are doing on the world stage economically is now being complemented by what the Russians are doing militarily with respect to Syria. Over the last several decades, only institutions dominated by the West have exercised such clout across the planet. Between the World Bank, the Central Intelligence Agency, the International Monetary Fund, and the Pentagon, people of the Global South have been openly exploited, if not slaughtered outright. But with the Russians now flexing capabilities previously thought to only be possessed by the United States, it's safe to surmise that the military balance of power, much like the economic balance of power, is shifting. Whether it's the Chinese constructing railways in Africa, or whether it's the Russians combating U.S. terrorism in Syria, the changing landscape is becoming more and more evident by the day. To be clear, diplomatic and economic moves made by the Eurasian powers have flown in the face of Western hegemony for quite some time. The military dimension has been added to the puzzle, though, and the stakes have risen, as has the West's anti-Russia propaganda campaign. And while the response from the imperialists has yet to mature, we can rest assured that they will not peacefully relinquish what they stole, then go quietly into the night. But even as we prepare ourselves for the capitalists' final desperate attempts to maintain the status quo, one can certainly appreciate that the people of the world have viable alternatives.